Tonight, just wonderful what the Governor of New South Wales really thinks of Broken Hill. And two Adelaide United players return home to Wyler to host a clinic for the next generation.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. The Governor of New South Wales, Her Excellency the Honourable Margaret Beazley, has wrapped day 2 of her visit to the Far West. Our reporter Joshua Mercer had the honour of interviewing Her Excellency while in Broken Hill.
It has been a whirlwind 3 days, but Her Excellency has enjoyed being in Broken Hill, saying the Silver City is just magic.
It is so wonderful, I can't tell you. To get blue skies, clean air, crispness early in the morning, it's just so wonderful.
Her Excellency spent the day out and about talking to different organisations, seeing what regional projects are happening in the city.
We try to meet all aspects of the community, so we've been able to go to the school, we've been able to go to the Y, we've been able to go to Murray Ma, Lifeline.
It also gives a sense of what the community is like and what is happening out here.
And that really gives us a comprehensive sense of what the community, what's happening in the community here, what the community is like, the messages we can take back to Sydney in all sorts of respects and to all different people as well.
One thing the Governor has noticed on this trip is the way that local businesses work together for the greater good of the city.
I think what's really struck me on this particular trip in Broken Hill is the way that the different organisations aren't competing against each other. They really understand each other.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Peterborough Mayor Ruth Whittle has been re-elected in a landslide after results of the District Council's election were announced. During this term, she'll become the longest-serving mayor in Australia, having served continuously since 1991.
The voters of Peterborough bucked the trend of turfing sitting mayors, once again backing Ruth Whittle to lead their community.
Very pleased that people have voted for me. I'm stunned at the result, but I will be a mayor for everyone, whether they voted for me or whether they didn't.
Mayor Whittle was re-elected with a landslide 566 votes to her challenger Christopher Dean with 198 votes. While congratulating the mayor, Mr Dean says he's concerned that the town will remain stagnant.
Congratulations to the mayor on winning. The impacts for Peterborough are strong because of this, if it continues the same way. The decline in population is a major issue, and funding to prevent that decline is a major issue.
Meanwhile, the District Council results have raised some eyebrows. Controversially, candidate Tina Martin, who in 2019 and 2020 shared a number of racist posts to a public Facebook page, was elected to council.
I was made aware of it and didn't see any of it firsthand, didn't read anything about it, etc. But Tina's been elected duly and legally, and I will work with the lady and if it ever comes up in discussion, we'll discuss it.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Moonta is known for its great sporting grounds and rich heritage, and council and businesses are trying to keep their sites green and lush all year round. And through some research, they may have found a way. The CEO of Copper Coast explains.
Using excess treated water to keep the grounds looking lush all year round.
Surplus treated wastewater that may be available for not only the Moonta cricket, golf and football clubs and the Copper Club who manage the Dunes golf course, but also for that small lawn cemetery.
The plan is to use community wastewater and water tanks. An assessment has taken place and the estimated cost is just under $2 million.
The estimated total project cost was about $1.874 million, with council's contribution, the club's contribution in kind and in cash, that's about $1.18 million.
However, nothing will commence until the report is finalised and clubs have had the opportunity to comment on the draft report, as there are many factors to consider.
We have to make absolutely certain that at times throughout the year, for example summer, when there's large demand, there is sufficient water.
If approved, this project will benefit council, businesses, clubs, tourism and the environment. It is hoped next year funding will be secured and works on the project can begin. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Adelaide United's ongoing ties to the Steel City have brought them back to our region, giving Wyler kids their very own training session. Star defender Lockie Barr is thrilled to have returned to his old stomping ground and give back to the local community.
Inspiring the next generation of soccer superstars. Adelaide United coach Carl Veer returned home this week to Wyler with several players, including the city's very own Lockie Barr. The A-League club visiting several schools and hosting a coaching clinic for over 60 junior players.
Lockie Barr, Zach and Bernardo came down to give us a training session and it was really fun. We got to do lots of drills and they also gave us signatures.
It just worked out well because we've got a World Cup break at the moment. We've got 5 days off, so we thought that'd be a good time to come down to Wyler and do some Q&As and some coaching clinics with the juniors.
With a strong connection to the city, the club says they've been itching to get back to Wyler since Carl Veer took the reins in 2020.
I'm from Wyler, and so is the head coach from Adelaide United, Carl Veer. He's from Wyler, so it tied in well. I know the club's been looking to do it for a while now.
The homegrown heroes impressed by the new and improved sporting facilities around the city, as well as the skills on show from the young players in their drills.
Dribbling, stopping, and we played a game.
Oh, we did a bit of like 1v1 stuff, a bit of passing.
When it comes to these coaching clinics, you don't really look too much about like the skill or competitive, but obviously there's some good players, but as long as they're having fun, it makes our job so much easier.
While there is still debate over who is the best soccer club in Wyler.
No, Wyler Wanderers. Wyler Wanderers. Wanderers.
Under 13s, 15s and 17s.
All attending players unanimously said their favourite A-League team is
Adelaide United. Adelaide United.
Yeah. Absolutely, I'm going to come to every game now.
Yeah, same.
Every game that I can.
Yeah.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, it was nice while it lasted. Why paid parking is back at Wyler Airport. And keeping up with demand, the Port Lincoln Aged Care Facility unveils its new building. Welcome back. There's a little more pain when parking at the Wyler Airport now. After weeks of residents making the most of free daily parking, a toll has been reintroduced.
The free ride is over. You may have noticed over the past few weeks the boom gates at the Wyler Airport car park have been permanently open while awaiting service. With the machine's repairs now complete, the boom gates are once again in operation, and so is the payment system.
So we've recently reinstated the boom gates at the airport. Obviously it's an important facility and we want to encourage people to use the facility and do so in a manner which is safe and also contribute to the overall costs of running the airport.
To ensure no car park users caught a pricey surprise on exit, a short transition period was put in place. But now, with the return of paid parking, to use either lot will cost you $16.50 per day.
Important to note that we also have both a long stay car parking area for those people that may be travelling, say, to Adelaide or interstate for a number of days, as opposed to the casual or short stay parking.
The council says the city's recent air show was an example of the capability of the site's car park, even under extreme numbers.
Clearly that was an abnormal day in terms of parking, but for the day-to-day operations of the airport, we're confident that people will be able to park in either the short stay or the long stay, whichever's more convenient for their needs.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The new Matthew Flinders home building in Port Lincoln is finally complete, with key stakeholders holding its official opening ceremony today. The facility will now hold over 70 beds as residents start to move in the coming weeks.
A build years in the making. Now Matthew Flinders Holmes has opened the door to its new facilities, holding more beds and improving their aged care services.
Fantastic. It's a $7 million facility. It's been 10 years in the making and a lot of challenges. Aged care is challenging, but it's so rewarding, and we're just so pleased that we've been able to open this and take our capacity to 86 beds.
Residents eager to move in and make the space their own.
They're very excited about it. There's not only is there an upgrade, it's a lot of modern conveniences that come with them, with the rooms as well.
The Lower Eyre Peninsula growing in its ageing population, with close to 2,000 people over the age of 75. Matthew Flinders Holmes accommodating for those who need it most.
Aged care is certainly people living longer, and we want to make sure they can be accommodated. There's 1,995 people on Lower Eyre Peninsula aged over 75 years of age, and we've probably got beds for about 250.
A university training centre also in the works, in hopes to develop skills in aged care.
The benefit that the nursing and allied health training facility will bring will be that they'll be able to engage with the residents in things like physiotherapy, dietitians, speech pathologists.
With an increase in demand for aged care services, beds are already filling up.
Certainly, we don't say no to anyone, but already this will be a full house within the next 3 weeks.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Do you have a spare 30 minutes per week? Red Cross is looking for volunteers to help with the rolling out and rolling up of the beach access mat at Solomon Town Beach. A simple task for some, but it can go a long way and will ensure everyone can enjoy the beautiful beach. If you would like to know more about the role, contact Red Cross on Ellen Street in Port Pirie. Stay with us after the break. Meet the Port Lincoln girl who's allergic to the sun. And Broken Hill's favourite choir group to hit the stage this weekend. Welcome back. Woodward Park is looking a little different with upgrades well and truly underway. Not to mention the giant tree that fell on the toilet block, but that wasn't part of the plan. The half basketball court is now complete and ready for action, so grab your ball and get dribbling. The next projects to commence are the nature playground and the bike track, providing children the opportunity to enjoy some outdoor play. Community members are pleased with the opening and the space being utilised. Tomorrow marks annual McHappy Day, a fundraiser for Ronald McDonald House, who help seriously ill children and their families. The Ronald McDonald House is an outlet for one Port Lincoln family who formed a bond with the organisation.
Despite her medical challenges early on in life, it is all smiles for 11-year-old Sophie Gray as she returns home to Port Lincoln after 8 weeks away. Sophie has been in and out of the Ronald McDonald House since she was born, a safe haven for her and her family while she underwent treatment.
Sophie was diagnosed with central sleep apnea when she was a baby and has been on oxygen since she's been born. We actually got off 3 weeks ago.
Tomorrow will mark the 31st McHappy Day and it will be Port Lincoln's 15th. Branch owner Tony Bye encouraging people to come down.
You can see we've got the silly socks going on. We've got a raffle, we've got a cookie jar guessing competition and all that sort of stuff. But the normal, rattling of tins.
$2 from every Big Mac sold will go towards the Ronald McDonald House, helping kids and families like the Greys.
So Ronald McDonald House means to us it's everything. It's a place to stay. It's a home away from home. We've stayed here for so many nights since Sophie's been born.
Sophie was also diagnosed with actinic prurigo, a condition that makes her allergic to the sun, but that hasn't stopped her shine. She still enjoys all the activities the house has to offer.
The playground, the dinners, the green patch, or the play area, and silly socks.
Like Sophie, you too can pick up a pair of silly socks, with all proceeds going back to the charity, the foundation supporting those living in the regions.
So Ronald McDonald House is a place where children stay with their families when they're in need of illness, and it's for regional families. So everyone on the Eyre Peninsula is eligible to go across there if they have their children go to hospital and have a need for.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Broken Hill's Philharmonic Choir returns to the stage this Sunday with a springtime concert. With some familiar faces returning, they're ready to spread the love and music to everyone in the audience.
After having some time off over winter, the Philharmonic Choir have warmed up their vocal cords and are ready to have their voices heard.
We had a little break over the winter, but just the same, we've got some people who are sick. So in these times, you know, we've got to expect that.
The theme for this concert is Love is in the Air. And with just over a month until Christmas, there will be a few Christmas songs as well. But there is one song the audience won't be hearing.
We're doing about half a dozen, but don't expect Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or anything like that. Sorry. No, we were doing Do You Hear What I Hear and Hush.
There is also said to be a few special guests taking to the stage, with some students of well-known singing teacher Marilyn Harris taking part.
Marilyn's son Andrew's going to sing a couple of solos for us this time, and also a couple of Marilyn students, Grace Malloy and Molly Malloy, who are cousins, but both sing very well.
This Sunday's performance starts at 2 p.m. and will take place somewhere different, Theatre 44.
Unfortunately, the musicians wasn't available for this date, and we needed all the practice we could get, let's face it.
Joshua Mercer, 7, Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Cricket returns to Port Lincoln after a complete washout last weekend. And we'll have the weekend weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. Well, no cricket games in Wyler or Port Augusta this weekend, but the show goes on in the other Spencer Gulf cities. Here's this week's cricket tips.
Hello and welcome to Port Pirie Cricket Tips. Club cricket takes a break this weekend to allow for the combined matches over in Wyler, with teams from Port Augusta, Port Pirie, Wyler and Roxby Downs all converging. This should be a huge weekend of cricket. With a good blend of experience and some up-and-coming young stars, Port Pirie should be able to put a strong side on the park this weekend. So good luck to the Port Pirie sides this weekend.
Hopefully cricket will get off the ground this week. The weather's looking slightly better. 2 games in A grade this week. Central take on North at the Alma Oval. I think North's have only had one win for the season so far, but I think they've got a couple of key players returning this week, which will bring them back to full strength. And I think they may prove a little bit tough for Central. I think their batting could hold the key in this game. In the other game at the Jubilee Oval tomorrow, West take on South. West probably will certainly start favourites in this game. If South could get somewhere near full strength, they could give the West a run for their money. But at this stage, I think West should start favourites and take this game out.
Welcome to this week's Port Lincoln Cricket Tips. Cricket was completely washed out last week here in Port Lincoln, so this week there'll be plenty of eager cricketers getting around wanting to get out on the park. First game sees Tasmans and Waybacks out at Ravendale. Should be a tight game of cricket here. Was in round 1. Going to tip Tasmans to get it over the line in this one. In the second game is Todd River and Charlton at Centenary. First time Centenary will be used this year. Could be a little bit of moisture in the air and a little bit under the surface. Tipping the team that bats second to win in this one. Thanks for listening to Port Lincoln Cricket Tips.
Well, in that case, I'll back the team that bats first. But time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, a bit of a rainy day here in the Spencer Gulf.
It was a bit rainy indeed, Mandy. Woodner recorded the most rainfall in our region, around 4.5 millimetres, while Port Pirie and Gadeen also had some showers today. Temperature-wise, it was warm in some places, 26 in Port Augusta. Broken Hill reached 26 degrees as well, 34 the top in Cooper Pedy. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, Woodner top 29, 26 in Port Pirie and Wyler, 25 in Port Lincoln and Adelaide. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a cool southwesterly airstream will persist into early next week, while a high pressure system will move over the south during the middle of next week. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northerly winds 15 to 20 knots, shifting west to southwesterly up to 30 knots. Seas between 1 and 2.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell below a metre. Showers and 22 in Port Lincoln tomorrow, 24 the top in Cleve, 24 in Woodna as well. Showers easing there. A shower or two and becoming windy in Wyler, set to reach a high of 27. Showers easing in Port Augusta, still warm, 30 degrees. Becoming windy around Kadina, 24 tomorrow. Showers and 27 degrees in Port Pirie on Saturday. Possible storms in Clare between 16 and 23 degrees. Possible storm in Broken Hill as well, 33 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, starting with Sunday, and things are looking windy in Woodna and Wyler, 21 and 22 degrees. Possible showers, 19 in Port Lincoln, partly cloudy, 23 in Port Augusta and Broken Hill. Moving on to Monday's forecast, bit of a cooler start to the working week with cloudy conditions around the Gulf, 17 in Port Lincoln and Adelaide, 19 in Woodna, Wyler and Port Pirie. And finally, taking our first look at how Tuesday is looking, possible showers in Port Pirie, 19, sunny and 26 in Cooper Pedy. And just a reminder, Maddie, there is a strong wind warning in place for the rest of today and tomorrow for the Spencer Gulf. Take care on the water if you head out for a fish. That's all from me for tonight. It's back to you, Maddie.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Friday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later. But until then, enjoy your evening and your weekend. Good night.